Do you know something? My dad was born in 1937, so he was born in Holland. It was just before the war started out. So think about when the World War II finished, 1945. The first 7 years of his life was surviving that, of which there are many stories. And then after that, he saw a lot of peace throughout the nation. And then, you know, when I was a little boy, basically what I'm getting at is when I was a little boy, he said to me once, he was watching the news, he always loves to watch the news. He said to me once something along the lines of, you know, in World War II, they tried to control the species of humanity. You know, the whole Übermensch. And since then, they tried to control humanity's mind. And it's interesting how, you know, because he was watching the news and then he turned around and he said that. And it kind of makes you sort of question, bloody hell, what's worse? You know, or is it the same thing? Or, I don't know. But when we think about music and we think about our personal limitations, you know, we think about our personal limitations and we sort of say to ourselves, oh, I could never do that, or I could never be that kind of a player, or I could never be, you know, as good as the person that perhaps even sometimes you hold so dearly in your heart, that you love. It's the reason and the inspiration for why you started playing in the first place. And it's referring back to the limitations of the mind again, from your progress of how you could actually, you know, rock it in your process, in your practice. I think I'm always going to encourage anybody and everybody to have influences, you know, when they're learning improvisation, when they're learning music. These are your role models. These are the people that you will never meet, probably never meet, or if you do get to meet with them and work with them even, that's even more incredible. But you'll never meet these people, yet these people have inspired you so much in life and to do something, to practice and put so many hours of work into that, you know, even though you've never met them, they are on such a high plateau in your mind. They're like members of your family, or they become your family, internal family. And you forever sort of look up to them because their work in life has been so phenomenally great. I'm talking like, for me personally, talking people like Wayne Shorter, Ornette Coleman, Charlie Parker, Stan Getz, Jan Garbarek, Keith Jarrett. I mean, there's loads. Herbie Hancock, you know, Michael Brecker, Joe Lovano, Dave Liebman, Steve Grossman. There's fucking loads. Joe Henderson. Miles Davis. I can't stop. Once I start, I can't stop. Somebody stop me. They're amazing. They give you life when you look at their work. They make you want to get up in the morning because there's something inside you that feels so resonant with it. You don't want anything out of it sometimes, but you just feel so resonant with it that even by playing or practicing or kind of doing something along the lines of that, of which you're inspired by, it gives you this energy of feeling alive, connected, or this oneness. And that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. You can get it with authors as well. You know, your favourite author, you pick up this book by this author and it's like a Bible to you. At the same time, because you hold these people with such high esteem, it can also be a counteractive thing to the acceptance of your true self, your greatness, your fullest ability. You know, you will never be able to imitate these people. You'll never be those people because they were them and they are you, and you are you. Then there's two people alike in this world. Everybody follows their own path, but you have to walk a path, to create a path, instead of walking somebody else's path. Because what happens is then you start comparing. comparison can sometimes be the cancer to contentment, and you'll always have this restlessness inside you to compare yourself and to act or to sort of like be like somebody else. I always think it's like I always say, it's great to have great role models in life, but that mustn't exclude yourself, and it must include you as well, because as you practice, in the process of practicing, you are discovering new things all the time, and that's a form of greatness, and that's never going to stop. You learning. Most valuable thing that we have in life is the ability to learn. Learn, not just knowledge out of books, but to learn who you are, who I am, the great I am. And it's infinite. And everybody has learning limitations in certain areas. But if we hold the people that we aspire to, that resonate with us, to such a high plateau that we forget ourselves, we forget our own unique sense of self, that could be the danger. Because then you're forgetting the point of what got those people to that place in the first place. Like Miles Davis got there because he believed in himself. He accepted himself 100%. He believed in himself, and he was kind of arrogant to that kind of an extent, and they all were. But it didn't make horrible people. Look at John Coltrane. You know, he believed in himself. He was a beautiful man, you know. And I think the point is to get to the highest state of where you can get to, and to know that you can get there with love for yourself, and break away all this sort of stuff that you just make up, and get to that level with the most loving heart is the only way, I think. That's what I thought for today. So, something to ponder upon. Don't allow your influences to counteract the acknowledgement of yourself and acceptance of your truest self, which is amazing, I believe, no matter what level you're at. And that's it.